right, we have got the captain of the San Jose Sharks, Logan Couture, joining us here on the Sharks Audio Network. Logan, we're at the end, man. How are you feeling right now?
I feel it's always tough for the season to end, especially the way that it did with a lot of losses down the stretch and missing the playoffs. Difficult, but it's nice to be around and see the guys one last time before everyone heads their separate ways.
Yeah, and I imagine for you, you're a guy who, since you came up with this organization, has mostly known nothing but success. You're used to these extended runs. Like, yeah, it's nice that you get to start your off season, but you'd probably rather still be going and still be gearing up for the next phase, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the playoffs are the best time to play. The times where I sit in the middle of summer and I reminisce about playing hockey, I think about the playoff games, and I think about driving to SAP Center and seeing people walking to the rink and just the buzz. Like, You can feel the buzz of playoff hockey. If you go out to the grocery store, you go out to dinner, and people are just talking hockey and talking Sharks, and I miss that. So I really hope we can get back there soon.
How hard is it for you to keep the idea of this being the aberration as opposed to the success that we've mostly known here? Because everyone wants to think about you as the leader, as being like the guy who's, talking to somebody when they need it and, being a word of encouragement or, sometimes giving a guy like a harsh lesson, something like that. But, there's also the ideology of what this team has been able to do and have that sustained success. And I'm sure there's probably times where you want to say to guys like, this isn't normal. Like, this is not what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, no, you're right. But we're 4 years now, and I think it's sobering to bring that up, to talk about that. This is a tough year. This is the lowest that we're going to finish in my career, and we know we have to improve. We know we have to get better. We have to do things better. We have to win more hockey games. So in that locker room, it's known, it's talked about. I think this is a big summer for a lot of people. A lot of guys, we have a lot of time, so there's areas of everyone's personal game they can improve. We're having good meetings with the coaching staff, with management. They're honest, they're upfront, and I think everyone's going to leave here today with a plan in mind of what they need to do better, what they need to get better at, and it's only going to make us better.
Was it hard during the course of the year when people were talking about you and trade speculation and stuff like that? Like, I would imagine there's a part of you that wants to be like, hey, I'm the blanking captain. Like, no, I don't want to leave. Like, it must be very hard to have that question broached to you in the first place.
Yes and no. I mean, it's natural. It's professional sports. I mean, there's always going to be people that don't like you as a player. There's always going to be people that want you gone as a player. There's going to be people that want you to stay. For me, I love San Jose. This is all I've known. There's literally nothing that would make me happier in sports than to see this franchise back in the playoffs. And I go to sleep, I think about it. I wake up, I think about it. That's I want the San Jose Sharks to get back in the playoffs, and I want to be a part of it. Obviously, there's a lot that goes on in this business. Changes happen. I know that, but I want to be here. I want to bring this team back to where it belongs. So we'll see. I mean, it's going to be a big summer. There's going to be a lot of changes, I'm sure, and take it as they come.
What about the conversations around the upcoming draft? Like, I always look at the idea of trying to come and tell you or Eric and somebody like, oh, no, you need this 17-year-old kid to come in here and save everything. Like, I would imagine that it's hard to hear people say, no, the Sharks should be losing more to lock up that top pick. Like that, if it was me, I think I would take umbrage with that, even if you do understand why that feeling exists.
Yeah, very understood, obviously. I'm a sports fan myself, but when you're right in the thick of things, you want to win hockey games. I mean, your pride, and you grow up playing this game. You're a competitive person. I mean, you have to be ultra competitive to get to the NHL. There's very, very few that play in this league, and for people to think, go out and lose a hockey game, it just doesn't happen. I'm not going to go out and lose. I hate it. Everyone hates it in that room. So I do understand. I mean, I want the Toronto Blue Jays to get the best possible person in the world. I want the Buffalo Bills to get the best possible person. But as an athlete going through it, it's very difficult. You want to win as many hockey games as you can.
Do you put yourself in that mindset when you hear things about the Blue Jays or about the Bills?
Yeah,
like,
it's natural.
You're like, I've been there. I know 100%, exactly.
Yeah, it's natural. I mean, I understand where fans are, where their thought process is, and obviously I know what they're thinking, but they don't live it every day. I mean, showing up at the rink after a loss, it's not fun. It sucks. And if you can show up after a win, it's a lot better. So we're trying to win as many hockey games as we could this year. Obviously, we didn't win nearly enough of them, so we'll try and get better at that.
You know, in sports, a bad year can happen, but I felt like this year, the way that you guys lost, there was a particular cruelness about it. Like so many games where it felt like the effort, the performance was good enough for a win, but it didn't come that way. Like, were you cognizant of that? Or were you aware, like, did you come home and look in the mirror and just be like, what just happened?
Yeah, the start of the year for sure. The first couple months, just really couldn't believe some of the games that are coming to mind. Tampa losing in the last minute, overtime games and shootout games, and just it was tough. I mean, if you get 10 more points in that stretch, you're in a spot where maybe the management makes some moves to help you instead of trading guys away for future. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of that. I look back on the year as I'm doing now, and wish that things would have gone differently, but they are what they are.
I imagine you're your own worst critic or your harshest critic, but you had a good year. I mean, that's, if we look at your numbers, which obviously only tell part of the story because you're a two-way guy as well, but I look at that and I say Logan Couture had a good year. Do you agree or do you disagree?
I thought I had good stretches of hockey. I thought, for me, I'm older, right? I'm 34, and I feel like I can still play and be an elite player. Obviously there's guys on different levels in this league. There's Connor, there's Nate, there's Leon, guys that are exceptional, but I feel like I can still play against those guys. And I was definitely proud of the year that I was able to have. It would have been a lot better if we got more wins, and I'm a player that plays a lot of minutes. So in that aspect, I feel like I let the team down or the fan base down, that we didn't win enough hockey games, because I'm a big part of it.
I remember that play against Vegas in overtime a couple weeks ago, and you talk about yourself not being a McDavid or whatever, but like your vision clearly to me, like you saw that. It almost looked like you baited them into making that pass by stepping back and then stepping up into the lane. Then you intercept it and you score in overtime. Like that's something like, sure, maybe you're not as fast as McDavid, who is, but your mind is clearly, I would say, it's never been better.
Yeah, I think that's my biggest strength. I mean, I've never been the best skater. I was always the knock on me, even when I was younger, as I couldn't skate. I couldn't skate at an NHL level, so my mind's had to, guide me through, and it's gotten me through 900 plus games, and I still think it's up there with the best in the league. In my opinion, obviously a little bit biased, but that's what allows me to continue to play this game is the way that I can see the game and think the game. I think.
Do you look ahead at the next year and start doing goal setting, or are you still in a reflective mode right now?
No, I'm going to. I'm already set on training. Like I talked to the coaching staff and Greersy today, and I said, I have these goals. I'm going to try and get my body weight at a certain amount. I'm going to try and work on my foot speed. I want to do a lot of conditioning. I want to be able to continue to play 20, 19, 21 minutes a night. So I have goals. It's primarily on the summer. I'm going to spend a lot of it here in San Jose. So I'm going to work with Steve-O, and we've set up some goals. So that's what drives me. I mean, I want to get better. And if I ever lose that, that's the time where I'll step away from this game, because there's always room for improvement. And that's what gets me going, is trying to get better.
Well, Logan, I appreciate your time, man. I know it's been a tough season, and you've earned an off season, and I look forward to seeing everything getting going again in the fall for training camp and the upcoming season after that.
Thank you.